Hi guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. How are you? How are you guys? It is whew, Wednesday afternoon. All right, so let's get started. We are going to talk about Welcome to Plathville, which has on episode 5 of this season. We are following the Plaths. And I see a lot of your chatter in the chat room, but I am going to stay on focus here. All right, so the Plaths are a family that live in Georgia, and they are apparently living on a 55-acre farm. Now, this is crazy, crazy. Whoa, hold on. Okay, sorry. Live on a 55-acre farm in Georgia. Now, the kids don't have all kinds of good stuff. They don't have access to this, to that, blah, blah, blah. They don't get to do anything fun. They don't get to eat sugar. They don't get to watch TV. They don't get to use the internet. They basically are just kept on this farm by themselves. Interestingly, though, in another stream, we're going to talk because I actually found that they don't live on this farm. I'm not even lying. I have some tea. I found the home that they are using to film for this show on an Airbnb. And I found another home that they purchased recently in the city. Not lying, not lying. All right, you guys. So on last night's episode, what we talked about was they were talking about the relationship still. So we're working through the relationship between Kim Plath, Olivia Plath, and her sister-in-law, or her daughter-in-law, and Ethan Plath, her son. So this episode starts out with a little bit more directed around Micah, the 18-year-old brother who has still living with the family. He is working at a farmer's market, but he is working towards getting some independence. He has decided through the help of Olivia that he is going to try auditioning for a modeling agency, and they go to a modeling agency in Tallahassee. Now, he tells his mother that he's going to this audition, and yeah, they get there and it's crazy. The lady has the wildest hair. It's called Marcia Doll Modeling. She's got hair that's like flock of seagulls. It reminds me of the 1980s. It is so wild. Now, before they actually do that in this episode, Mariah decides with her mother that she's going to go look at colleges. And Kim, her mother, who most mothers would be so happy that their children are thinking of going for higher education, she is apprehensive, and she tells her that she only has one computer in the home, and only Lydia, who is 15 years old, and Kim have the password to the computer because Kim trusts no one else in the house besides Lydia to keep the kids minded. Now, mind you, Lydia is also the one that does all of the cleaning and all of the cooking. Lydia is like Kim's indentured servant. She doesn't really have a life outside of her mother. Okay. So Mariah and Kim debate about what kind of school she's going to go to, and she decides that she wants to go look at Stetson College, which is in Florida. Interestingly, I actually interviewed a professor there in the School of Psychology. It's a pretty neat story about video games and screen time. I digress. All right, so Kim says that she would like to go with them to the campus and bring Barry with her. Mariah isn't so interested because she said that she wants to go to college to get away from her parents, and she doesn't know if she wants to bring her parents with her. All right. So then they go to the modeling agency. And when they get to the modeling agency, well, when they get to the house, actually, Olivia shows up and she's going to help Micah, and she's setting up this meeting at this modeling agency in Tallahassee. Micah didn't tell Kim whether or not he was going to do this. He tells his mom right before he leaves, and she was not expecting that. It almost seems as though it's a shock. And when I spoke to Olivia a few weeks ago, she did tell me that some things they would ask Kim when cameras are around because they knew while filming Kim would not say no. And so they would choose different avenues to like make sure, because Kim has this thing where she doesn't like to look a certain way, and so She wouldn't say no if she was being filmed, but she would say no privately. So it looks as though this was another time where Kim might have been ambushed by the cameras and the surprise of, surprise, your son's going to become a model. And of course, Kim immediately goes to, well, it's probably, you're automatically going to be an underwear model because naturally you go from zero to underwear model, right? That's what happens in Kim Plath's mind. So they get to Tallahassee and they meet with Marcia, who has this wild, wild hair. And she says that Micah is a very good looking boy, which is true. He is a very good looking boy. Whoops. And they also, she talks to him about like, why do you want to be a model? He explains that he'd like to make some more money. And so he does some walking on the runway and he puts his hand in his pocket and he's all looking all smirky. And I will say, like, Micah he's a good looking kid. I mean, he's got a very like well put together body. Like, it's very clear that he farms a lot, I believe, and he does a lot of working out. And so I could see why Marcia at the modeling agency might be interested in having him as a model. So after they do all of it, Mariah does her walk. She looks like this when she's walking. She looks like a little snake. And Marcia tries to correct it. After everything is all said and done, it's clear that Marcia is not so interested in Mariah, but is definitely interested in Micah and has a job for him at a boutique. And she's going to check to see if that boutique would be interested in using Micah. So then after that's all done, they are going to go to the beach. And Olivia and Ethan take Micah and Mariah to the beach. And this is the part where I thought it was interesting because Mariah's like, what should I wear to the beach? And for most people, it's not that big of a deal, right? Most people would think, oh, at a beach, we would wear swimming suits. Well, Mariah reminded us all that at the beach, this is what they dressed like when they went to the beach. She said that she would have to play at the beach in a dress. Weird. So she wears this super cute bikini, nothing at all inappropriate for her age, looks adorable. They have fun. They play. Mike, Olivia, and Ethan are happy to be able to give them some like normal bonding time. They also go to, after they're done with that, they do some funny walking. They do their model walks at the beach too. Anyways, then there's another section of the show where they talk about church. Now, Ethan actually admits on this episode that his family never went to church. They could never find a church that fit the family needs, which echoes what Olivia told me a couple weeks ago when I interviewed her, that they had tried about 10 different churches but could never find one that was strict enough. And so Ethan was, as Olivia said, kept away from literally everyone. He never went to a regular church. He wasn't allowed to have friends. He didn't go to regular school. He was never around people his own age. And now at age 21, 22, he is finally around same aged peers. And through this church that seems like sort of, I don't know, non-denominational, laid back kind of church, they are finding friends and community. And Ethan says that he absolutely loves it. And Olivia says that it's like amazing to see him branching out, having like a community of people around them. They sing in the choir. It's cool. All right. So then they're getting ready they're done singing at the church and they start talking about their relationship with mom and dad. Olivia says that even going to church has caused issues in their marriage because Kim and Barry think the church they go to is too liberal. I'm not kidding. So Ethan says that there's tons of issues that are going on in the family, but he doesn't let it get it down, but he knows that he and his parents need to work this out. So eventually what happens is Kim and Barry invite them over to the house. They decide to put the kids to bed early and they have Olivia and Ethan sit on their leather couch and they talk through things. So when they get there, Olivia says that she just hasn't felt like she's been accepted or welcomed into the family. And before she can even finish what she says, Kim is literally interrupting her. Like, when did that happen? When did you stop accepting me? When was that? You used to like me. What did I do? What was it? You know, like, it was really bizarre and I felt really bad. And you could tell Olivia was super uncomfortable. Olivia says that she felt controlled from the first time she ever met them because of things like not Kim being critical of the toothpaste that she used or the food that she ate, and that Kim always said that she was a bad influence for these types of things, and that the kids have told, Olivia says, the kids have told me that you think I'm a bad influence for the things that I eat and use and say. And Kim just looks like sick to her stomach. She's like almost like she can't even believe the kids have like confided in her. And then Barry interjects and he's just like, well, we used to have a good relationship with Mariah and look what has happened since you've been around. Almost as though they're blaming the fact that they have put Mariah in a position where they consistently put her down by saying that she's wired differently and she likes things that aren't the same, and like slight jabs at Mariah constantly, and suddenly it's Olivia's fault. And Olivia says, well, why is it wrong that if she can't talk to you and she needs someone to confide in, why can't she confide in me? And then that got me thinking, these people don't want these kids to have friends because they don't want any one of these kids to know that there's a different way to do things in the world. Imagine that. Imagine that. They don't want them in church. They don't want them in school. They don't want them around anyone, because anyone that Mariah could potentially talk to that shows them that maybe what mom and dad are doing is not normal is a threat to what they're doing. Imagine parents being this paranoid that your kids can't talk to people. All Olivia is doing is being a friend, and they're like, you've ruined the relationship with Mariah. It was insane. I was like, my mouth was on the floor when that happened. It was, yeah. So Kim was like, it is not your job to uncover things in our family. It's our decision to parent our children how we want to parent them. That's basically how that ended. Because Olivia said that all that happened was Mariah confided in her, and then all of these sort of layers were getting uncovered about issues that were going on in the family. And Ethan said, Mom, these issues were here well before Olivia. It wasn't Olivia that did this. So it's like they're blaming Olivia because finally Mariah had someone in her corner that was willing to talk to her, that was willing to listen to her, and then that suddenly is her fault. And they have such a different standard for Mariah than they do for all the other kids. Like, they don't trust Mariah, who's older than Lydia, to have a password to the computer. They don't trust Mariah with anything at all. They consistently seem to put Mariah down and then amplify Lydia, because guess what? Lydia seems to be like the brainwashed little girl that will just do anything to make her mother happy and will not push back. And because Mariah has questions and is inquisitive and wants to see what's out there in the world beyond what her parents, beyond the like brainwashed, weird, strange parents that literally can't find a church, a school, or anything. Like, not even friends are good enough for these people. That is weird, you guys. I don't care if you're a fundamental Christian. I don't care if you are a mainstream Christian. I don't care if you're an atheist. Anyone that wants to keep a child away from everyone because they don't want anyone to influence their children about anything, that is isolation. That to me feels abusive. Mariah deserves to have friends. You can't take friends from kids. It just seems crazy to me. Anyways, eventually they somehow come to a place where they agree that, Olivia just needs to like shut up, and if she can just shut up and not, tell the kids that Kim is bad, that they can hang out with Isaac. And as a trial, they're going to have supervised visits with Isaac while the parents are around. I'm not even lying. So then they go over to the house later for dinner, and who does the cooking? Who does the cleaning, and who does everything else? Lydia. What's Kim doing? She's like, I'm on my phone. Oh, Lydia, she's cooking jambalaya. Seriously. Kim has it good, you guys. Kim has it good. She's got Lydia working as her slave. She's like bossing around everyone and trying to make Olivia the bad, evil daughter-in-law when it's really like she's the wicked mother, right? If this was a fairy tale, I feel like that's what it would be. All right, obviously, this is just the editing, right? It's just the editing. This can't be real. All right, anyway. it was nice to see them laughing. They're eating. Next week, apparently, Micah's going to model, and Mariah is going to surprise everyone with a I'm leaving the family, I think, dinner. I think that's what's going on. So this is where I'm at with this. I feel like the divide in this family is very, very true. And we are going to keep moving on. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, if there's anything that you thought was weird, let me know in the comments below. Also, random screenshots that you're seeing that might say things that have to do with me related to people that are really in a very unfortunate and terrible situation are not real. Okay? Let's again stay focused on the happiness here, keeping people in your thoughts, and moving forward and being positive. All right, you guys, I hope you have a really great day. Bye.